Have you ever paused to ask yourself what invisible burdens you're silently carrying each day? In a society that always demands more achievements, more social connections, more noise and stimulation, it's easy to overlook the quiet weight of things you never intended to hold on to. What if true fulfillment isn't found by chasing after more, but by gently letting go of what no longer serves your well-being? Consider for a moment. Is your peace of mind constantly disrupted by worrying about others' opinions, draining relationships, or the endless scroll of digital noise? How much lighter could your life become if you made space for clarity and purpose by softly releasing what holds you back? In this episode, we'll uncover 10 powerful things you can quietly eliminate from your life to experience deeper freedom, inner calm, and genuine contentment. Join me until the very end, because sometimes the most profound and lasting changes aren't announced with fanfare, but begin in silence, when you choose to step away from the excess and embrace what truly matters. Number 1. Overcoming the fear of others' opinions. For many, the greatest shackles are not made of iron, but woven silently from the threads of other people's expectations. How much energy, across the years, is quietly spent editing our words at the family dinner table, masking our true selves with friends, or shelving our long-cherished dreams at work, all for fear of a sideways glance or a silent whisper. This fear is stealthy, it seldom announces itself. Instead, it seeps in, day by day, until life becomes a muted echo of what it could be. At the heart of this struggle lies the silent question, what will they think of me? A question that, if unchecked, can steal not only our peace, but the very shape of our existence. Yet, reality often stands in stark contrast to our imagination. The world is a bustling arena. Every person is wrestling with their own doubts and distractions. As Dale Carnegie wisely remarked, when we are not engaged in thinking about some definite problem, we usually spend about 95% of our time thinking about ourselves. The silent conclusion. Most people are not scrutinizing our every move. They are preoccupied with their own lives, their own silent battles. Even when judgment comes, harsh words from a colleague at work, dismissive looks at a neighborhood gathering, ask candidly, what lasting weight do these opinions bear? Will their fleeting thoughts pay your rent, shape your family, or realize your ambitions? Most often the answer is a resounding no. As Eleanor Roosevelt so compellingly said, you wouldn't worry so much about what others think of you if you realized how seldom they do. The Stoics offer us an enduring guide. Epictetus, standing at the crossroads of adversity, counseled, if you wish to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid. This is not a call to ignorance, but to silent courage, the kind found in the artist who paints what others mock, the parent who raises a child against modern fads, or the executive who makes an ethical choice, even if it invites ridicule. In practice, freedom from this fear demands awareness. The next time reluctance shadows your voice in a meeting or tempers your joy with friends, pause. Ask yourself, am I living in silent alignment with my values, or am I acting only to appease the silent expectations of others? With each small act of authenticity, a quietly shared opinion, a personal style claimed, a compassionate no to toxic demands, you loosen the chains. Over time, what was once terrifying becomes empowering. Surround yourself with allies, friends, and family who cherish your growth and respect your silent striving for authenticity. At work, seek mentors who nurture individuality rather than breed uniformity. In love, choose partners who celebrate, not tame, your true self. Ultimately, the journey is inward. As Ralph Waldo Emerson declared, "To be yourself in a world that is constantly trying to make you something else is the greatest accomplishment. Stand silent, stand firm. The fear of others' opinions will fade, replaced by a quiet clarity and the profound sense of walking a path that is wholly, wonderfully your own." Number 2, cutting out toxic relationships. You are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. This familiar maxim holds a silent, sobering truth: each relationship we keep shapes our world from the inside out. Sometimes, the most pressing threat to our peace is not a looming enemy, but the slow drip of negativity from those we choose to keep close. The colleague whose subtle sarcasm chips away at our confidence each workday, the childhood friend who now only reaches out in crisis, the family member whose silent judgment lingers long after the conversation ends. Toxic relationships are often quiet in their destruction. It is not always thunderous arguments or dramatic betrayals that do the most harm, but the relentless erosion too, the silent tension, the unspoken criticisms, the one-way flow of emotional labor. Over the years, these connections silently sap our vitality, leaving us anxious, self-doubting, or even physically worn. Far too often we cling to these bonds out of habit, guilt, or a belief that we must endure them, never noticing how they gradually silence our potential and dim our sense of self. What makes cutting out toxic relationships so difficult is the quiet loyalty. We feel a loyalty born of shared history or unspoken obligation. Yet, as the philosopher Seneca once warned, associate with people who are likely to improve you. When the people around us inspire only inner conflict, the cost is simply too great. We must ask with quiet courage, does this person bring out my best, or do I leave our encounters feeling small, unheard, or diminished? The Stoic approach is not one of noisy confrontation, but of silent discernment. You do not need grand gestures, public falling out, or declarations of who is in or out. Begin with subtle, deliberate boundaries. Limit the time you spend with those who drain you. Change the subject when the conversation turns toxic. Say no, calmly and respectfully, more often. In this, you protect your inner peace without creating unnecessary turmoil. Sometimes, a toxic relationship can shift with honest, compassionate conversation. Other times, however, silence and distance are the only medicines that heal. To let go does not mean you lack empathy. It means you respect your soul enough to clear space for better. Take a moment to reflect. Who in your life leaves you feeling inspired, and who leaves you feeling empty? Are you staying connected out of comfort or true connection? As Viktor Frankl illuminated, when we are no longer able to change a situation, we are challenged to change ourselves. In choosing whom you allow close, you reclaim the authorship of your days. The silent decision to step away from what harms you is an act of profound self-respect, a whisper that becomes a roar within, steadily restoring your strength and your joy. Number 3. Breaking free from destructive habits. Destructive habits rarely announce themselves with fanfare. More often, they are silent guests, slipping quietly into the routines of our everyday lives. Picture the solitary glow of a screen in the middle of the night, a parent scrolling through endless news, searching for peace after a long day. Or the silent procrastination as a deadline approaches, the coffee growing cold, emails multiplying, all while you find solace in routines that deep down betray your true ambitions. In family dinners, in boardrooms, even in the quiet of our relationships, these habits quietly shape the quality of our days, robbing us of potential piece by piece. These patterns do not develop overnight. Perhaps you've watched a loved one, like a spouse who pours a drink each night to escape the silent weight of professional disappointment. or a friend whose self-worth hinges on the number of digital likes they receive. On the surface, each habit seems harmless, just a snack, a distraction, a way to handle stress. But with time, they carve grooves into character, determining who we become and how we view our own self-control. Stoic wisdom demands that we face such realities head-on. Seneca sharpened this principle: most powerful is he who has himself in his own power. True freedom, the Stoics remind us, is not found in indulgence but in mastery. Look at the quiet struggles of public figures. Think of Oprah Winfrey's public battle with emotional eating, or David Letterman's candid admissions about procrastination and anxiety. Such stories echo that even the accomplished are not immune to silent sabotages. And it is their willingness to confront these habits day by day that leads to transformation. The path to change is not paved with grand declarations, but with silent, consistent effort. Breaking free begins with simple awareness, honestly naming the habits that silently erode your well-being. In practice, start small. Replace late-night screens with a chapter of a novel. Swap an anxious scroll through social media for a silent walk with your spouse. Each replacement is a signpost of progress. Forgive yourself for every setback and treat missteps as valuable data, not silent defeats. Ask, as Epictetus would, how does this habit serve my highest purpose? Change is built on a series of conscious, silent choices, each one reclaiming a piece of dignity and direction. Your daily actions, silent as they may seem, are the architects of your future. To break free from destructive habits is to quietly clear space for hope, discipline, and a life rich in meaning. The journey is humble and daily, but always profoundly within your grasp. Number 4. Letting go of the to control everything. The urge to control, to orchestrate every note of our existence, is a silent force woven deep into our nature. At work, it's the manager micromanaging every project detail, convinced that only their oversight can secure success. At home, it's the parent who schedules every minute of family life, overseeing meals, activities, outcome shopping, that vigilance will shield their loved ones from pain. In love and friendship, it's the subtle attempt to shape how others see us or how relationships must unfold. This longing for control is comfort in disguise, but often it births a silent storm of anxiety and frustration. Yet life rarely unfolds according to plan. A promising career is derailed by shifts in the market. A family gathering is shadowed by lingering resentments. Even public figures, think of Steve Jobs, whose relentless drive redefined technology, but who, at the end, faced battles no strategy could master. The silent truth is that the world moves by its own logic, indifferent to our insistence or our worry. The Stoic Epictetus declared, "Some things are up to us, and some things are not." In these few words, every anxious heart finds counsel. The Stoics teach us to govern our thoughts, our actions, and our responses. Beyond that small realm, all else is subject to the winds of fate. Like the silent river adjusting around the rock, true strength is found not in resistance, but in graceful adaptation. Rather than striving for control over every variable, redirect attention to your response. Traffic jams, missed opportunities, the words or decisions of others, these are the silent tests of our composure. You cannot still the chaos, but you can become tranquil within it. Philosopher Viktor Frankl observed, "When we are no longer able to change a situation, we are challenged to change ourselves." Let the lesson resonate. Power lies not in dominion over the world, but in mastery of one's silent inner landscape. Try replacing anxious anticipation with mindful presence. Deep breaths in the midst of frustration, a small act of kindness when plans fall apart, a mental note that you're letting go of one expected outcome today. These practices, repeated, quietly loosen the grip of control and make space for contentment. Ask yourself, where does my energy go each day? Is it lost in attempting to choreograph every silent detail, or is it invested in shaping how I respond? By focusing on what is truly within reach, your choices, your attitude, you will uncover the quiet strength to meet life's uncertainty with courage and peace. Letting go is not surrender. It is a conscious, silent act of wisdom, releasing what you cannot command to discover the freedom and clarity that was waiting all along within you. Number 5. Releasing unrealistic expectations. Unrealistic expectations operate as silent saboteurs in the background of daily life. They create an invisible tension, an unspoken pressure that follows us through every room at the office, across the dinner table, even within our private thoughts. A spouse waits for a wordless apology that never comes. A manager silently expects overnight mastery from a new team member. A parent quietly hopes every family gathering will be picture perfect. Day after day, these silent scripts widen the gap between what is hoped for and what is lived. Disappointment thrives in this climate. When we cling too tightly to specific outcome, expecting friends to always agree, or believing our career should advance without setbacks, disillusionment is sure to follow. The silent effect is cumulative. Small letdowns at work, minor conflicts in marriage, the slow realization that perfection is always just out of reach. As author Anne Lamott sharply observed, expectations are resentments under construction. Yet, the Stoics teach another path. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." The wisdom is simple but profound. The world isn't here to perform according to desire. Release the need for flawless outcomes and reclaim the quiet control over your response. Perfectionism is a common culprit. In society and the media, celebrities are measured by impossible standards. Consider how every misstep is analyzed for athletes, or how actors endure public scrutiny for not fitting into the mold. In reality, perfection is a moving, silent target. The more you chase it, the further it slips away. Francis Bacon said, "Begin doing what you want to do now. We are not living in eternity. We have only this moment." Sparkling like a star in our hand and melting like a snowflake. Allowing room for error is not weakness, but wisdom. The same extends to our relationships. Repeatedly expecting loved ones to anticipate our needs or mirror our ideals almost guarantees friction. Instead of insisting life meet exact expectations, try gentler forms of anticipation, empathy, patience. Silent appreciation for others' effort 7 when they don't perfectly align with our hopes. Start with honest reflection. In what areas of life do you feel ongoing tension? Is your frustration a sign of silent, rigid expectations? Shift your mindset by preparing for more than one outcome. Hold yourself and others to human standards, always striving, but never demanding perfection. Releasing unrealistic expectations is not about giving up ambition, but about exchanging silent disappointment for ongoing progress. When you do this, you open the door to acceptance, gratitude, and quiet joy, even when life follows its own script. That is where real peace and real self-mastery are found. Number 6. Letting go of the need to always be right. The urge to always be right moves quietly yet powerfully through our personal and professional lives. It's a silent tension felt during family gatherings, where an offhand remark can ignite spirited debates, or in workplace meetings, where colleagues battle over strategies, each seeking the silent victory of having the final word. In friendships, It's the subtle resistance to changing a long-held opinion. In society, it's the constant back and forth seen in public discourse and online arguments. This need to be right, rooted in ego, often clouds judgment and drives a wedge between people who care about each other. When we turn every disagreement into a contest, relationships suffer. The cost is steep: strained marriages, distant friendships, fractured work teams. Instead of cultivating connection, the pursuit of being right leaves behind a trail of silent resentments and missed opportunities for understanding. Even public figures, think of CEOs who double down on failed business decisions, or famous couples whose public squabbles overshadow their contributions, have been humbled by this relentless, silent demand for superiority. In the end, winning, the argument often feels strangely empty. Stoic wisdom, ever practical and profound, offers an escape from this cycle. Epictetus reminds us, "It is impossible for a man to learn what he thinks he already knows." True wisdom begins with humility, with the silent admission that even deeply held views might need revision. The most respected leaders and friends aren't those who dominate every exchange, but those who listen intently, consider differing views, and respond with grace. Releasing the grip on being right isn't surrendering your values. It means choosing when to engage and, just as importantly, when to remain silent and allow for other voices. Practical steps start with active listening. Give full attention, seek to understand, and resist the temptation to interrupt. When an issue arises, pause and ask, "Is this worth my peace?" A simple question reminding you that not every silent battle needs to be fought. Kindness, respect, and lasting trust grow in the space where being right is not the sole priority. In families, it's seen in the parent who admits to a child, "I was wrong, teach me your view." At work, it's the leader who invites feedback without defensiveness. In love and friendship, it's two people choosing peace over pride. As the novelist Evelyn Waugh reflected, "If we cannot silence our egos, we silence the possibility of true connection." Ultimately, letting go of the need to always be right restores a silent harmony to daily life. It empowers you to replace conflict with compassion, creating room for deeper understanding and lasting bonds. That, in the end, is a victory far greater and more enduring than any argument won. Number 7. Silencing the digital noise. In the silent hours before dawn, before the world stirs, there once was a time when quiet was natural and focus came easily. Today, instead, a constant barrage of notifications, messages, and endless updates competes for your attention. You may recognize this from the breakfast table, where family members barely look up from their screens, or in meetings where every buzz fragments the discussion. Even celebrities speak openly about their battles with digital overwhelm. Ariana Huffington, founder of the Huffington Post, left her own company to focus on promoting digital well-being, cautioning against the cult of busyness that technology can create. Each alert, whether a message from work, a trending topic on social media, or an email from a distant acquaintance, is a silent disruption. The digital noise is not just external sound, but the steady invasion of mental space. This constant overstimulation erodes your ability to think deeply, to reflect, and, most importantly, to be present for your spouse, your children, your friends, and for yourself. Many believe that staying connected is essential for success. In reality, unchecked digital engagement leads to anxiety, stress, and an exhausting sense of being on autopilot. How often do you finish an hour of scrolling feeling restored? Or do you feel more drained, disconnected, and perhaps even lonelier? As Carl Jung warned, who looks outside, dreams, who looks inside, awakes. Without intentional boundaries, technology can quietly pull you away from your own inner truth. So, the Stoic approach is both timeless and deeply relevant. Take charge of your attention. Marcus Aurelius's wisdom to have power over your mind, not outside events, is urgent now more than ever. Begin by decluttering. Unfollow accounts that do not nurture your curiosity or well-being, mute group chats that sap your peace, and unsubscribe from content that adds to the digital static. Remember, every digital possession is a potential distraction. Let only what matters occupy your silent mental space. Introduce sacred pause-set periods each day when screens are put away, when mornings or evenings belong to reflection or real conversation. Use your devices' "Do Not Disturb" feature as a silent guardian of your focus. Notice how these rituals allow room for genuine connection and renewed clarity. Ask yourself daily, is this digital noise adding value or simply filling the silence where insight, reflection, or intimacy could grow? The aim is not to abandon technology, but to become its conscious master, not a passive participant in the world's endless chatter, but an architect of silent purpose. Silencing digital noise means reclaiming your life's most finite resources: attention, presence, and peace. The background hum may never vanish, but you decide which notes deserve your silent, precious focus. In this choice lies true strength and the calm clarity that makes all the difference. Number 8. Transforming negative thoughts into positive ones. Negative thoughts creep in quietly, like a silent drizzle that dampens an otherwise bright day. At first, it may be an internal whisper doubt about your abilities at work, worry that you haven't done enough for your family, criticism from a friend replaying in your mind. Left unchecked, these thoughts stack up, turning small discomforts into a weight that drags down your energy and clouds your perspective. We see this everywhere. The successful executive who silently grapples with feelings of inadequacy, the caring parent haunted by fears of not measuring up, or even celebrities like J.K. Rowling, who spoke openly about battling self-doubt during her darkest years. The Stoics remind us that the battle for well-being is fought within. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts. Our thinking shapes the world we inhabit. If negativity loops unchecked, our view of reality shrinks and darkens. But the remarkable truth is, we have the power to rewrite this script." This isn't about forced optimism or pretending pain doesn't exist. It's about learning to guide our internal narrative with intention, care, and discipline. The path begins with self-awareness. Many people drift through the day in the silent undertow of negative self-talk, barely registering its presence. But the moment you pause and notice, am I building myself up or tearing myself down, is the moment transformation can start. In that instant, you are no longer a prisoner of your thoughts. You're the silent observer, able to choose your next move. Reframing is one of the most effective tools. Instead of, "I failed this time, I always fail," say, "This is a setback, but it's a lesson I can grow." Oprah Winfrey once shared that every failure shaped her resilience, revealing hidden strengths. Shifting the narrative turns mistakes from life sentences into opportunities for self-discovery. Gratitude acts as a silent light, cutting through the fog of negativity. When the mind focuses only on what's missing, stress multiplies. But reflecting on even small blessings, a warm home, a loyal friend, the ability to learn restores perspective and balance. It's also vital to shape your environment. The energy of friends, family, colleagues. 7. The news you consume either fuels or drains your own resilience. Surround yourself with those who uplift, not undermine. your journey. Ask yourself, is this thought serving my growth or keeping me stuck? 5 seconds of silent reflection can shift you from autopilot to mindful living. Over time, these small habits rewire the brain, supporting optimism, resilience, and peace. Transforming negative thoughts isn't about silencing pain, it's about giving yourself permission to rewrite the silent script of your own life, one thought at a time. When you do, you step into your full power, not just to survive, but to thrive. Number 9. Clearing physical and mental clutter. A cluttered room is never just a matter of misplaced objects. It is a silent mirror, reflecting the chaos inside the mind. A desk piled high with papers, a closet overflowing with forgotten clothes, or a kitchen scattered with unused gadgets, all quietly sap your attention and energy. These surroundings create a backdrop of silent noise, urging your brain to process and filter through a barrage of distractions. Over days and weeks, this noise saps your focus, making it difficult to feel steady or centered amid daily demands. Physical clutter isn't just a household nuisance, it is a thief of tranquility. Consider the family dinner table buried under endless mail, homework, and electronics. It's harder to truly connect, to share laughter and the understated warmth of companionship when the environment competes for presence. In workplaces, even successful leaders like Steve Jobs, who was known for his minimalist approach, have emphasized the value of simplicity in fueling high achievement and creativity. Letting go of physical clutter is about more than cleaning up. It is an active, intentional decision to create a space that nurtures your well-being. Begin simply. Clear a single shelf or empty one drawer, and register the silent ease that settles after the mess recedes. Ask yourself, does this item add value or simply take up space? If it no longer serves you, releasing it brings a surge of relief, both physical and silent, to your daily life. Moving from the external to the internal, mental clutter is even more elusive. Racing thoughts, unfinished business, lingering regrets, they follow you into every conversation, even as you move through society's noise. Stoic wisdom urges a return to simplicity. Seneca aptly observed, "It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste a lot of it." Joy and focus are found in letting go of what weighs you down, not in juggling more. Journaling is a powerful antidote. Take a moment each day to quietly unload your thoughts onto paper. This creates distance from worries and transforms silent burdens into manageable tasks. Mindful prioritization is crucial too. Set 3 meaningful intentions each morning and let go of the rest. The process is not about perfection, but about regaining control over your life's narrative. Physical and mental clutter, left unchecked, drowns out the silent peace within. Begin today with a single corner or thought. Release what no longer serves you, and let clarity, presence, and purpose reclaim their rightful place. In that gentle, silent clearing, discover a life of greater calm, focus, and depth. Number 10. Escaping the trap of unnecessary comparisons. In today's world, it only takes a silent swipe on your phone to be confronted with the curated triumphs of others. A friend's promotion, a celebrity's elegant new home, a colleague's seemingly perfect vacation. Each filtered moment becomes a silent invitation to measure yourself against another's life. The trap of unnecessary comparisons is subtle yet pervasive, quietly eroding your self-worth and robbing you of joy. The problem is that these comparisons are based on fragments, not reality. You see the peaks of others while carrying the full weight of your own valleys and struggles. It's like judging a book by its cover, glossy and alluring, but never the whole story. Social media, dinner parties, workplace chatter all become stages for these partial performances. In the process, your own achievements begin to feel smaller, your happiness more conditional, and the silent discontent grows. Stoic wisdom offers a powerful antidote. Seneca urged, "As long as you live, keep learning how to live." The essence of Stoicism is not to look outward for validation, but to cultivate your inner garden. The only worthy comparison is with your past self. When you reflect on who you were last year, or even last month, and recognize your personal evolution, however quiet or gradual, you are reminded that your journey is unique and worthy of respect. Real stories reinforce this truth. Consider the accomplished artist who wrestles with imposter syndrome after scrolling through peers' portfolios, or the devoted parent who doubts themselves upon seeing other families' perfectly posed snapshots online. Even the most successful, like tennis champion Serena Williams, have spoken of the silent, sometimes harsh, comparisons that haunted their minds despite their visible triumphs. Escaping the comparison trap requires conscious effort. First, ground yourself in your own values. Ask directly, am I living by what matters to me, or am I chasing someone else's definition of success? Next, practice gratitude. When you focus on what you have, a peaceful morning, a supportive friend, the silent satisfaction of daily growth, your sense of abundance returns. Reducing exposure to comparison triggers is crucial. If a social media feed leaves you restless, mute the noise. Curate your digital and personal environment, choosing that which uplifts you. British writer C.S. Lewis wisely said, "Comparison is the thief of joy." Protect your joy as you would any treasured possession. A practical exercise: whenever you catch yourself comparing, pause and name one recent achievement, however minor. Allow the silent pride in that accomplishment to settle within you. These small moments, repeated, form the foundation of authentic self-worth. In the end, unnecessary comparisons are a silent distraction that pull you away from your own unique and evolving journey. Let them go, and reclaim the peace, fulfillment, and self-respect that come from honoring your own path, own step, one silent victory at a time. In the end, the journey toward a calmer, more intentional life doesn't require loud achievements or dramatic changes. It begins quietly, in the choices we make every day. By letting go of what no longer serves us, we create space for clarity, peace, and true fulfillment. Remember, happiness isn't about having more, but about knowing what to keep and what to release with courage and mindfulness. My message for you today is this: don't be afraid to change quietly. Have the strength to let go of what weighs you down, so you can move forward with freedom and live a life that feels truly meaningful to you. Real transformation often happens in silence, when you listen closely to yourself and trust what you need most. If this video has brought value to your life, please hit the like button and subscribe to join me on this journey of self-discovery and growth. I'd also love to hear from you. Share in the comments what you feel inspired to eliminate from your life first. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next episode.